Hi everybody, Shannon and Karen with Wandering Out Yonder. We are again in Catoctin Mountain Park. This is a national park. We're getting ready to go on the charcoal trail. It's one of the shorter trails around here and it's pretty easy.
Day 2 of
Shannon's recovery. Yeah, we're just doing some real easy stuff, just getting out and getting her out.
Stretching some muscles. Yesterday did a world of good.
Right, so this is day 2 of us getting out prior to our trip to California and trying to get Shannon back on track with some hiking. So, all right, here we go. All right, this is called the Charcoal Trail.
It's the furnace you were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, that is the furnace I was talking about yesterday. But this trail follows an old coaling road through the woods where local residents made charcoal that fueled the Catoctin iron furnace, which is right here. Now that's down in Thurmont. It's a really cool little area. Like we said, we did a video on that area. Gosh, it's been about 2 years ago in February. But there is a video. If you scroll through the videos, there is one on the Catoctin.
I'll link it up again.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's where we're at today, and it's kind of a neat little trail. It's this real simple, real easy trail. And so that's why we thought we would come out here again today and hit one of these easier trails just to get out and stretch our legs and help Shannon get through some of her recovery. Okay, so we've done this trail before. We did it when there was leaves out. It was green, but not in the winter yeah, we've never done this in the winter. But anyhow, this is an interpretive trail. And there are like little marquees here and there. It kind of gives you an idea of what happened here. But there was a lot of iron ore furnaces in this area. Wood being the essential ingredient. And if you look down here, this tells you 1 quart of wood, 4 by 4 by 8 foot, produced 16 bushels of charcoal. And so every 25 to 30 years, cutters cleared all but a few of the fast-growing chestnuts and other hardwoods up to 10 inches in diameter. So they had pretty much stripped the forest, basically, in order to make the coal. So this trail is, like I said, it's pretty easy, but it's a bit rockier, and there is a little bit of elevation, so that's why we chose this one today. Kind of push Shannon's limit just a little bit, see how she does. How you doing, Shannon? All right, so using a pair of horses or mules, wood haulers moved a cord at a time on rustic sleds like the one I just showed you to the charcoal hearths. They unloaded the 4-foot logs and stacked them on both sides of the sled. Then they circled back on the coaling road to pick up another load where the cutters had ranked or stacked the logs. Local residents, including whites, free blacks, and slaves, worked as cutters or haulers at both jobs. You can see there's a photo, but this is the replica that they have out here of the sled that was used. What the sled looked like. Again, we noticed that they've done a lot of cutting out here. We don't know why. You can see where they've cut a lot of the trees down. All throughout here. There's all kinds of them that are down. So I don't know why. But anyway. All right, and so this trail actually connects with other trails. Like I think pretty much up that way you can...
That goes towards the Thurmont Vista.
Right, that takes you up to Thurmont Vista. But yeah. All right, so anyhow, we've reached another little marquee. This is called Preparing the Hearth. And this is what they have here. Okay, the marquee states that this is a hearth, one of many sites in the park where a collier burned wood to make charcoal. Notice the blackened soil. The collier first cleared a level 30 to 40 feet in diameter. Each time he used the hearth, the collier raked the dirt and dust aside. Then the hauler pulled the sled into the area and stacked the 4 wood logs as you see them here. The hearth was now ready for the collier to put his charcoal making experience to work. Step-by-step skills learned and mastered in a 7-year apprenticeship.
Wow.
Yeah, I never realized it took him. All right. So there you go. And this is the hearth that was built. You can see. All right. I'm going to keep moving forward now. Turn you around to see the other side of it. Okay. So I'm sure there was some skill needed in order to do that. A lot of physical hard work. Again, just noticing all of the intentionally cut wood out here. Look at that. I don't understand why they've cut all this down. But they have. The rings in that tree. Okay, so we're coming up on another area here. And by the way, this has kind of a purplish pink blaze, I guess. Looks like maybe another area. Let's see. It's kind of a fenced off area up here. And this says, after building a triangular chimney and stuffing it with sticks, the collier stacked logs in concentric circles around the flue. The 12-foot high stack consisted of 30 to 50 cords, 2 or 3 times the logs you see in this replica. See that right there? The collier filled gaps between the logs with sticks and covered the stack with a layer of dirt and charcoal dust and leaves. He removed the center pole or fagon and dropped embers into the chimney to start the fire. As the inner logs turned to charcoal, he periodically jumped the stack to find hot spots, which he covered to keep the air out and control the rate of burning. After 2 weeks, the collier raked the charcoal into small piles so it could cool. So this is one of the ways that that's probably why it took such a long time to learn the skill. I'm sure there's an art form to it. But this is an area where they used to have, you can see a partial mound here where they used to do this. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're coming up on another area with a marquee. Find out what this is. And this is called the Collier's Hut. He was part manufacturer, firefighter, and watchman. So after igniting as many as 7 stacks, he stayed close by in a small teepee hut like this one. So he would monitor these stacks. So every 3 hours for 2 weeks, he would patrol the smoking pits and managed the pits to make sure everything came out the way it was supposed to. This is a reconstructed hut. And then there's a pile of stones all over to the right. Okay, Shannon's going to take a walk inside. Yeah, the snake pit. Over here to the right are the remains of one of the original collier huts, and you can see the stones up here. They're leaf covered right now, but you can see the actual that it used to be, which is right in here, back in here. It's where the hut was. All right, so coming up on another marquee here. Signs of the past. The dark soil indicates that this flat area was once the site of a charcoal hearth. So far, more than 140 hearth sites have been discovered within Catoctin Mountain Park. Others remain hidden amid the grasses, trees, and other plants that have reclaimed these hills. And I am guessing, you can't see it now because it's covered up, but they're talking about this area out here. That's where there was a former hearth. So, all right. And it appears that there is one more marquee before we finish the trail, called Fueling the Furnace. The charcoal was made, the cutters and wood haulers were done, the air was clearing up. Now the colliers had to make sure the teamsters transported the charcoal downhill to Catoctin Iron Furnace with their mule-drawn wagons. For nearly 100 years, charcoal produced from the extremely hot fires required to extract iron from the ore. But in 1873, the furnace switched to coal. So that's what was used to heat up these furnaces for the iron ore. That's incredible when you think about how much work was put into producing these things. That's the things that they were producing. And of course, I'm sure other things too. From the charcoal that was being produced here.
This was just step one.
Yeah, this was just step one. So it went down the road, which that's actually not too far from here. And they created, this was where the iron ore furnace was. And this is where that African American cemetery is as well. It's an old slave area that they discovered. But anyhow, wanted to show that to you. So this is Catoctin Iron Ore Furnace. This is the one we were referring to where they were making the charcoal and brought it down to this furnace where they were making the iron ore products.
Probably, what,
There's a
5
whole
miles?
Yeah, it's about 5 miles away from where we were, so it's a pretty good trek for them. Think about the process that had to happen in order to make those items. So anyhow, this is a cool little area. It's really pretty here.
It said that they did shells that were used at the Battle of Yorktown.
Okay, yep. So they did make shells that were used at the Battle of Yorktown here. But yeah, this is pretty. It's a pretty area. And this is the marquee in regards to the African American cemetery that was found here. It's an interpretive trail, and it's back that way, back around there. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, and it's the history of it, of course, is never good. But I'm glad that they discovered the cemetery and they were able to identify people, so people could connect the dots with family members to find out what happened to them. That is the mansion that was up there on the hill. That's just the remnants of that, but we wanted to show you the furnace itself in regards to what we were talking about on that charcoal hearth trail. We thought that was pretty interesting, and you think about it, extremely time consuming, what it took to produce these items that we showed you earlier. Anyhow, pretty interesting. right, guys, so thanks for joining us on day 2 of Shannon's Hubbles a Lot, that's what she called it. Recovery walk. She did a mile today, so we're on our way. We're hoping by the time Monday rolls around, which is Shannon's birthday, by the way, maybe we'll get to 2 or 3 miles, right?
Woohoo, I hope so.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you later.